chairperson of Kazakh Senate and director of the foundation of the first president of Kazakhstan, held several meetings as part of the World Cancer Leaders Summit. Dariga Nazarbayeva met with President of the Union for International Cancer Control and Princess of Jordan, Dina Mired. The parties discussed opportunities of cooperation between the foundation of the first president and the King Hussein Cancer Foundation. During negotiations, the First Lady of Turkey, Emin Erdogan, highlighted that the health cooperation will strengthen. Moreover, Dariga Nazarbayeva met with the First Lady of Burkina Faso, Sika Bella Kabore, who showed her willingness to apply Kazakhstan's measures in fighting against cancer diseases. Members of the European Parliament plan to strengthen cooperation with Kazakhstan in energy, transport and environment. Kazakhstan, the European Union Friendship Group, can play a huge role in this cooperation. This has been announced at the official presentation of the informal association in Brussels.
Kazakhstan is a bridge builder between the East and the West, and between Asia and Europe. For us, it's really important. Kazakhstan is the integral element of stability in Central Asia, and if you want to cooperate with a very stable region, we must have a really good relationship with Kazakhstan, because your country is the number one in the region.
Казахстан очень сильное государство. Люди очень, такие.
Kazakhstan is a very strong state. There are well-experienced people. Politicians change, and the situation changes as well. The 5-year period of work of the new European Parliament and the European Commission continues today. This is economy, mutual political relations, and I can only welcome the activation of this dialogue.
И поэтому я только могу приветствовать то, что сейчас мы этот диалог активизируем.
Kazakhstan, the European Union Friendship Group, has been created for further reinforcement of trade, economic, investment and humanitarian relations, as well as promotion of Kazakhstan's foreign policy initiatives. The free trade agreement between member countries of the Eurasian Economic Union and Iran will enter into force on October 27th. The EAEU member countries will have access to the Indian Ocean and the Middle East. The free trade area is a great chance for Iran's economy to return to its previous level. According to the new agreement, tariffs on some goods will be reduced, while zero tariffs will be introduced for other products. Such indicators will be clearly beneficial both for Iran and our partners. The reached agreement shapes trade rules between the EAEU and Iran. Iran's share in Kazakhstan's foreign trade amounts to nearly 1.5%. The parties plan to increase these indicators.
Будет возможность построить
There will be an opportunity to build a railway connection between the East and the West, specifically from the Caspian Sea to the coast of the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman. This will reduce the trade route by several thousand kilometers and also lower the cost of products.
Несколько тысяч километров, и также снижает расходы на этих поставок.
Products will be exported to the EAEU member countries via sea borders of Kazakhstan. Experts said that Kazakhstan is expected to have the highest GDP growth as a result of cooperation between the EAEU and Iran. As part of the EAEU, Kazakhstan can make more than $500 million on trade with Tehran. Central Asian countries are willing to apply South Korea's measures in technical standardization and effective water resources management. This was announced by Kazakh Foreign Minister Mukhtar Tleuberdi at the 12th Korea Central Asia Cooperation Forum held in Nur-Sultan. Representatives of foreign ministries of 5 countries of the region and the South Korean delegation have arrived for the event. Meeting participants discussed main areas of cooperation in energy, mineral resources, construction, transport, and information and communication technologies.
Внешняя политика Казахстана направлена.
Kazakhstan's foreign policy is aimed at promotion of equal and confidential dialogue, as well as at the unification of efforts of our countries to strengthen trade and economic relations in Central Asia. Today, Central Asia is one of the dynamically developing regions which occupy an important strategic territory. The region has huge human and economic potential, as well as natural and industrial resources. Members of the Henry Jackson Society met in London. Participants of the briefing paid special attention to results of the previous meeting of parliament speakers of the Eurasian countries. This event is aimed at contributing to a multilateral dialogue between leaders of legislative bodies of Europe and Asia, highlighted the participants.
There are a number of questions that were raised, not least, of course, surrounding the role that Eurasia plays in Kazakhstan's foreign policy and how Kazakhstan marries the competing or challenging needs of Europe and Asia, particularly as Kazakhstan seeks to develop in terms of technology, in terms of its embracing of the digital revolution, and how Kazakhstan, in a sense, marries that with its own domestic priorities.
Distinguished topics included ongoing reforms and continuity in foreign policy in Kazakhstan. Participants of the discussion positively evaluated Kazakhstan's foreign policy.
I'm very encouraged by what I've seen in Kazakhstan, as I say, a few years ago, and what I've keep reading since. Kazakhstan's approach seems to me to be one of the most forward-thinking of all the post-Soviet countries.
The Henry Jackson Society was founded in 2005 in Cambridge University. The society stands for international values aimed at protection of human rights. Russia hosted a presentation of anthology of Kazakh contemporary literature. The collection of Kazakh poetry and prose was translated and published by the publishing house of Moscow State University. The Moscow Organization of the Union of Russian Writers, Translators, Editors, Literary Critics and Reviewers took part in the event.
Ең бастысы біздің жаңағы әдебиетімізді үлкен оқырманға жеткізу. Сондықтан біз енді бұл мақсатқа жеткен сияқтымыз, өйткені ең жаңағы біздің
We plan to showcase achievements of modern Kazakhstan and our literature to the world. I think we have done it well. Works of both young and well-known writers are included to the collection. I think that via these works we have managed to tell about culture, customs and traditions of our people. I am confident that this will be interesting for our readers.
Ұлттың болмысын, ұлттың мінезін, ұлттың дәстүрін, оның жаңағы мінезін білуге болады деп сенемін, сондықтан біз сол мақсатқа жеткен сияқты.
Мы очень рады, что именно Московский университет был включен в эту работу.
We're happy that the Moscow University was involved in this work. One of the main missions is education, which means introducing the high-level examples of cultures to the younger generation.
Образцов высокого уровня, достойных подражанию.
The works will be distributed in 14 post-Soviet states and will be donated to libraries, universities and research centers.
Когда говорит поэт или когда говорит талантливый прозаик, его слышно,
A poet or a talented prose writer is always heard, since he or she has a unique and figurative speech. Words of writers touch readers' hearts. 100 people who have come to this event are our readers. Then other people will be interested in reading our books.
Они уже читатели, они уже наши книги разбирают. Это услышит народ. Рука потянется.
The collection of Kazakh contemporary literature will be translated into 6 official languages of the UN as part of the Modern Kazakh Culture in the Global World project. So far, books have been showcased in Madrid, Paris and London. The publication is planned to be distributed in 90 countries. Films, TV series and programs of Khabar agency were showcased at the world's entertainment content market. The Khabar agency stand attracted the attention of participants who arrived from all over the world. Some of the visitors were familiar with the TV content of the agency, while others were introduced to the TV programs for the first time. Khabar arrived for the exhibition to offer its own premieres.
Наша задача не только выбрать.
Our goal is to both find the unique content for our viewers and to offer and distribute our content all over the world. There is interest in our content. Some of the TV companies and broadcasters have asked recommendations from us on how to promote their content. Meanwhile, Kazakh TV, which is part of Khabar, will broadcast in Armenia. This was concluded by the agency's management team. Kazakhstan's first satellite channel broadcasts in 118 countries in 5 languages at the same time. The target audience is international viewers who might be interested in history, culture and nature of Kazakhstan. Cooperating with a big distributor, the agency plans to broadcast its content in Armenia via cable and satellite networks. Kazakhs and Armenians have always been close to each other. A lot of Armenians live in Kazakhstan. Some of them returned to their historical homeland from Kazakhstan. I think they will gladly watch our content. Journalists of the United Nations News Service have visited former Semipalatinsk nuclear test site. The trip was dedicated to the 10th anniversary of the International Day Against Nuclear Tests initiated by Kazakhstan. Japanese, American and European journalists highlighted that the example of nuclear disarmament in Kazakhstan becomes particularly relevant in the modern world.
То, что мы увидели, это просто потрясло до глубины души. Одно дело, ты читаешь...
We are shocked by what we have seen. It is one thing to read reports on injured and dead people and conducted 456 nuclear explosions in the region. It is completely different to see these people and to talk to them. It is definitely a great achievement that Kazakhstan abandoned nuclear weapons.
И, конечно, то, что Казахстан отказался от ядерного оружия, великое дело.
The UN journalists also went to the National Nuclear Center in Kurchatov, as well as paid a visit to orphanage and hospitals. An exhibition of Chinese artists has been opened in the capital. The exposition features 55 unique works of 6 famous Chinese painters. The artists are confident that their paintings not only showcase development of Chinese original art and reflect convergence of civilizations, but also contribute to promotion of China's Belt and Road Initiative. In addition, the painters said that the project triggers a reinforcement of the cultural exchange between Kazakhstan and China. I present 2 of my paintings at the exhibition. I have been to your capital for a few times. This time, I have arrived with other artists. So far, my works have been showcased in nearly 40 countries, including Kazakhstan. Kazakh musicians living in different countries have gathered to give a performance in Paris. Pianist Aygerim Matayeva has come up with this idea. She invited opera singer Azamat Jilturguzov from Nur-Sultan and violinist Yerjan Kulibayev from Spain. The program included works of European classical music and songs of Abay. Meanwhile, the concert has joined the program of the Kazakh Cultural Season, held in France for the 2nd time.
Ils sont toujours magnifiques.
They are wonderful and original. This is a very beautiful concert that surprised us with originality. It is true that we have very few opportunities to listen to Kazakh musicians. The quality of the performance impressed me the most. I think that the audience is amazed and fascinated by music of the concert program. This is not typical music we listen to in Paris. People have discovered Kazakhstan as well.